Everyone has a hero. A comic superhero who saves the day. A warrior that conquers a nation. A scientist whose legacy remains unparalleled. A politician that moves the world. Mine was much closer to home. My grandfather, So Kei Siang, just like Singapore basketball, once had a glorious past. The 1950s was the golden age of basketball. Unlike today, Singapore used to be a powerhouse in Asian basketball. The national teams challenged the likes of Japan and the Philippines in the 1956 Melbourne Olympics, and even the NBA's Boston Celtics in an invitation back in its heydays. And my grandfather was a part of that triumphant chapter in Singapore's sporting history, now forgotten and left buried under the tides of progress. In fact, he was the vice captain of the original Lions of Singapore, whose names once heralded victory in the sporting arena. Their fame extended beyond borders, even getting them acquainted with Kuomintang Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek. My grandfather made the news often. He was dubbed the gung-ho gentleman for his penchant to play every game as his last and still leave a dignified sportsman, win or lose. He was a clinical player for the Singapore team for more than a decade and was Singapore's equivalent of Kobe Bryant, excluding the scandals and heaps of cash. My grandfather was a hero off the courts too. During a sporting invitational to Taiwan in October 1957, the Kuomintang airplane the national team was on incurred an engine failure. As can be imagined, pandemonium ensued and even brave men cried for their lives. My grandfather stepped up calmly amidst the chaos, aided the crew in offloading baggage off the plane, and even passed around a box of chocolates to still his horrified teammates. The team safely reached Taiwan as celebrities who defied death's beckoning. However, to serve his country the best he knew how, my grandfather had to sacrifice education, a stable job, and precious family time. After his athletic days came to a close, he remained a hero, this time in raising my brother and I. From the days of feeding this stubborn toddler, to matchmaking me with my first love in basketball, to providing a listening ear and a reassuring smile, my grandfather was a superstar in my life. This time, without the rapturous crowds and camera flashes. His amazing sporting feats I will never witness. But now, whenever I step on the courts with him, players old and older would come over to me and say, "Young man, did you know Mr. So was Singapore's hero back in the good old days?" And I respond, "I know, he's my grandfather." Everyone has a hero, a teacher that inspires a class, an old woman who keeps the streets clean night after night, a blood donor whose blood revives a dying man, a blind busker in the tunnels of a metro. My grandfather is my hero. Who is yours?